We're just gonna hope that works because I'm on a time crunch. Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for September 8th through 24th. This week I read 1 book, I watched 4 shows, and I listened to 2 audiobooks. You are probably wondering where the hell I am. I am currently in Peace River and we have done 2 12-hour travel days and it is not even light out right now when I'm recording this, and then I'm gonna edit it in the car, and then when we eventually get to our destination in approximately 12 hours from now, I'll upload it and hope it captions quickly. I mentioned this in a previous video, but we were going up to the Northwest Territories, which is very exciting for me because I've never been before, and apparently the Northern Lights have been spectacular for like a week now, so hopefully they hold out until I get there. I've also been documenting this trip on my Instagram, so if you're not following me there, you should. I've made a whole stories that is called NWT Trip, and all of my pictures are there, and there are some very pretty mountains so far, so go check that out. The book I read this week is The Many Daughters of Afong. I actually did an entire reading vlog of this because I got it in a Once Upon a Book Club box, and I posted that this week, so I'm going to post that link down in the description below because the items that it came with were gorgeous, and the book itself was also gorgeous, and then I loved the book, so I like when all of those things come together. This book is very much about generational trauma, and it goes through these different women in the same bloodline. Starting off with the first Chinese woman to ever go to America and the terrible things that went with her. That was the starting point for this, and then this is basically her descendants, her many daughters, if you will. One of the points in the timeline is 2045, so some of this takes place in the future, a lot of this takes place in the past, and I was gripped by the stories of all of these women. This does have a lot of generational trauma, so if that is a trigger for you, go into this with caution, but this was absolutely beautifully written. I highly suggest it, and if it sounds interesting to you, I actually read the synopsis in the video I mentioned, so check that out. That vlog, by the way, is non-spoilery. I do stop and tell you a couple of things about the book, but nothing that I would consider spoilers. Moving on to what I watched this week, I'm about a week behind on RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race, so I watched episode 6, which was the Ru week. So all the contestants were doing RuPaul songs. Also, this was the one where all of the contestants that were still there had to reveal themselves. So we finally got confirmation that yes, it was the guy that played Damien on Mean Girls. Yes, it was the guy that played Artie on Glee. Yes, it was AJ from Backstreet Boys. My best friend was also brilliant and figured out it was the girl that played Ashley on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then the 5th person, I don't know, so I'm not bummed I couldn't figure out who it was, but apparently he's been on Ugly Betty and something else I can't remember right now. This was a fun week and probably nerve-wracking for the contestants because they were singing a certain song to the artist who sang the certain song. Well, lip-syncing. We know it's lip-syncing. Of course it's lip-syncing. And if you've ever watched any Drag Race franchise, you know that RuPaul really likes that free advertising, so there we go. I also watched the finale of Drag Race Down Under, and that was lovely. This person who won, I would think I would have been okay with any of them, to be honest, but the person that won is somebody that I was rooting for at the very, very beginning. Not to say that I didn't like the other ones, but this one, there was something special about her. I'm a little bit surprised that she won somehow, still with all of that, because I think that another queen maybe pushed it a little bit further than this one, but I'm not mad about it. Before going on this road trip, my roommates and I also finished the 4th season of Westworld, and just, if you've never seen it before, I can't tell you, but for the people that have seen it before, you know, what's gonna happen now. This week I also watched the entire 1st season, and hopefully not the only season, of Uncoupled. This is a new Netflix show starring Neil Patrick Harris, who's a real estate broker in New York. He has this great life, he's got this great boyfriend, they've been together for 17 years, and then something happens. You can probably tell by the title of the show, I don't know why I'm being purposely vague, but he has to go on and figure out why this happened and how to live his life as a newly single man in New York approaching 50. I really enjoyed this. This had some laugh out loud moments. There were a few items in there where I kind of had to cringe a little bit, just because of the situations. I was like, wow, I'm glad I will never be in that situation probably. But this also gave me a greater appreciation of what it's like to be a queer male as opposed to a queer female. On to the books I listened to, the first one being Siren Queen. This one takes place, I want to say, in the 1950s, and if my brain will tell me properly, I want to say it's in California, Los Angeles. That makes the most sense. Yes, okay, there we are. Our main character's parents own a laundromat, and from a very young age she has been enamored with the talkies. But this world is also filled with magic that is just seamlessly woven into what's going on, to the point where it doesn't explain to you at all the magic and what's happening, and I found that really fascinating. However, where this really left it down for me is I don't really understand what happened at the end, and then it just kind of ended. However, I really enjoyed my time going through this. It was such a fun action adventure, this character just building on this thing that she really, really wants, and the writing is absolutely beautiful. So I'm a little bit mixed on this, but maybe I just didn't quite get it, and that's fine. I realized that before I started filming I went and got coffee, and I haven't had a single sip of it yet, so hopefully I'm making sense right now. Yesterday, which again was travel day 2 in the car, Chad and I listened to the entirety of Legends and Lattes, because he was like, if you have something that is fantasy or sci-fi, let's go ahead and try to listen to an audiobook, and that's what we did, and it was lovely. I knew it was going to be great. I know that this book has been raved about, and for good reason. I really enjoyed it. This is a really sweet Dungeons and Dragons inspired tale where this orc gives up her life as a mercenary and a sword for hire and opens a coffee shop in a town where nobody has ever heard of coffee before, and the menu keeps getting expanded as she learns more things about coffee and what she should serve with coffee, and it's this beautiful found family, and it's just so precious. I absolutely loved this. I loved the characters. I loved finding out at the end as well that the author is actually an audiobook narrator, so it makes a lot of sense that he narrated this audiobook. And this book was a NaNoWriMo book, so that's exciting. He also used to write video games? Like, why have I never heard of this guy before? In any case, if you were wondering if the hype is worth it, it's definitely worth it for this. I just fell in love with these characters. I wanted good things for them. It was just so delightful. That's it for this week. I'm going to finish packing, see if there's anything in the lobby that I can have as breakfast, actually drink that coffee I got before filming this, because I was like, ooh, I need to film really early. I should probably caffeinate, and then didn't. It's just staring at me across the room. And then yes, I'm going to edit this in the car, so I really hope that you are seeing this in a timely manner. Have you read, watched, or listened to any of these? If so, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!